wanted something to happen.
So next time we all just need to go together and
we
take
need
a
to
Ouija
go.
board.
We need to do that. That would
dial
be
it
so
up.
sick.
That would be nuts.
I literally said that when I was there with the people. I was like, dude, it'd be so cool if we had a Ouija board or something.
I was kind of kidding, but hey.
No, I'm
Hey,
dead. I'm dead serious, bro.
I bet
should
we
do
wouldn't
that.
be the first ones to try.
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
no, but we might be the last.
Dude, right.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
I am the greatest. He'll fall an eight to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking Jack, I'm going to cut it to five.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Ville Chillin podcast. Today, as you can tell, the room is crowded. We actually got a couple buddies with us. We got Sam and Chris, and we actually want to talk about Waverly. Waverly Hills is such an important establishment in Louisville. It's such an important icon. I mean, there's so much history. It's haunted. It's crazy, and we all have different stories kind of relating to our relationship with Waverly. But before we even get to that, I think we need to kind of recap some of the history. Waverly Hills Sanatorium is a former sanatorium located in the Waverly Hills neighborhood. And in the early 1900s, Jefferson County as a whole broke out with a huge tuberculosis wave.
It was the White Plague. It was bad.
It was bad. It was bad enough that the sanatorium opened in 1910 as a 2-story facility, able to accommodate 40 and 50 tuberculosis patients. And it kind of expanded from there, but the hospital closed in 1961 once the TB drug started actually working. But if you think about it, 1900, it opened in 1910 until 1961. That's a 50-year plague.
I haven't even been alive that long. That's
Right.
crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine being alive during something like that, and it all happened right here.
Right. And it right here in our our
Backyard.
county, like right here. You said you run there,
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. Just thinking how many people live around it and just how much money was poured into it and just considering what it's used for now.
The location of it too is kind of it's a little spooky. You know, it's not just like in like the middle of the city.
Yeah.
It's kind of secluded from everything else.
Yes.
You're right. I do run there. You know, I go.
Wait, you literally run there?
Yeah. Waverly Park. It's beautiful. It's my favorite place
I don't
to
think I've
run
ever
out of all
been
the
there.
parks.
I've lived in Kentucky my entire life. I've never been to Waverly
Oh,
Park.
you got to go, brother. It's
Oh, that's
fantastic.
awesome. They have a dog
It's a
park and
good
everything.
place.
It's perfect time too with the trees changing right now. It's absolutely beautiful.
I gotta check that out.
Well, and like you were saying, like with it being like spooky or whatever, like right at the bottom of the hill, there's this big sign that says Jesus is Lord.
Yeah.
And it's not very welcoming.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like,
Does
you know,
that set
like,
a vibe or what?
it's just a billboard falling apart and it just says Jesus is Lord. So like it just reminds me like a Rob Zombie horror movie. Like
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's wild, man. It is been used for so many things over the years. It was expanded upon. We've done plenty of episodes on it about how it started small, only housing like 40, 50 patients. It was expanded to house like 200 patients, more and more. And then you have the stories about the death chute and stuff like that. It's just, I mean, it's considered one of the most haunted places on the planet, actually. You know, ghost hunters annually book time to go to Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Really?
Yeah,
dude, all around the
It's
world.
been on,
like it's not like it's
been on Travel
destination. Yeah.
yeah, it's one of the most haunted destinations in the world.
Because it's not just the TB hospital aspect, but it was an insane asylum.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like there's like,
Yeah, it was an insane asylum. It was like remade into a TB hospital.
right.
How cool is it that they've converted it to and it's still active? Like that we can all go there, you
It's
know,
pretty
and
sick.
especially like this time of year, like, and you get to go have experiences. Like, Jack, you did that, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we went to the haunted house just the other. It was just a couple weekends ago, and it was really cool because like I went to the haunted house probably 15, 20 years ago when they first like reopened it.
Yeah.
And really, to be honest, it wasn't all that. It kind of felt overpriced, and you just wasn't getting, what you paid for. This last one, dude, it was so awesome. Like it was real trippy. The first like 5-10 minutes, like for one, the line. Sometimes like when you wait for like a haunted house or something, the line's like really long, and
For sure. Yeah.
it seems like it takes forever, whatever.
Yeah.
It was a long line, but it sped up really fast, like because there was something happening or whatever to like really speed it up. But then once you were like in the haunted house, like you can kind of take your time or whatever, and then like the first few minutes of it was almost like just like a trippy experience. I don't know how to explain it other than like just like you had to put on like 3D glasses.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it was just like colors and everything else. It was like an acid trip, okay? Like and it was a lot cheaper. Like it was a lot cheaper or whatever. Like and no bad trip. Like
So the time in between, they've really kind of perfected the craft a little bit more.
Yeah,
Definitely
exactly.
worth a lot more going to
Yes.
these days.
But that being said, like a haunted house, go and do it. But like y'all got to do, Chris, you got to do the actual haunted
The
tour,
overnight, yeah.
right?
Overnight
So like,
thing.
what was that about? Like, what was that like?
I mean, you pay like $100 and you get to walk around the entire place unchaperoned and go anywhere you want. It was pretty cool. Nothing happened to me though. Like nothing haunted happened to me. Nothing like that. So,
You didn't see like
That's-
Timmy Rona's
Nope.
bar or whatever?
no, nothing. I tried. I walked around by myself, pitch black. Nothing happened. I went down the death chute. Nothing happened. By myself. Nothing happened.
So wait, they let you free roam? I always
Yeah,
thought
free
like
roam.
I always thought
Free
it was like
roam.
a thing like you had to like
No.
kind of follow the.
That's what I
You
thought,
sign a
too.
waiver. So there's like a roof at the very top that is like rotted or dilapidated, and you could like fall through it. And they're like, "Don't step on it." But
There's a
no
common apparition seen on top of
There
that
was
roof,
no
by the
one
way.
stopping you though.
Oh,
You
wow.
could go down over there and fall through, and they would just be like, "Well, it's your fault because you signed a
signed a
waiver."
waiver.
So
Right. I feel like
like,
that kind of adds to it. You
That's
know, you
actually
gotta-
pretty
you gotta
cool.
Sign the waiver.
it was actually awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it, even though I didn't see anything. It was freaking cool.
So I mean, on top. So yeah, you didn't see anything, but what was it like? What was the terrain actually like? Like Jack went there and it was set up to be a haunted house, right?
This is just bare bones, just the place by itself.
So
as
was
is.
it just like empty rooms?
Empty.
A bunch of
Everything's
different-
empty.
Was I guess a bunch of different just hallways full
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
rooms, like maybe old dilapidated hospital
Oh,
beds
just
and
old.
crap?
Yeah, there was like a couple hospital beds that were just like from there back in the day, but now it's just like empty and old and
Did it
dilapidated.
feel spooky at all? Like
Oh, it
did-
felt
did
very
feel
spooky.
unnerving?
They actually made it even creepier. The fact
Oh,
that it was
really?
empty and vacant was really creepy.
yeah,
and you could
I
walk
bet.
around and just there'd be no one with you. Because I went there with a group of people, but I went by myself because I wanted to try to like really experience something.
I'd wanna do
and
that
nothing
too.
happened, but I wanted something to happen.
So next time we all just need to go together and
we
take
need
a
to
Ouija
go.
board.
We need to do that. That
would
would be
dial it
so
up.
sick.
That would be nuts.
I literally said that when I was there with the people. I was like, dude, it'd be so cool if we had a Ouija board or something.
I was kind of kidding, but hey.
No, I'm
Hey,
dead. I'm dead
what?
serious, bro.
I
we
bet
should
we
do
wouldn't
that.
be the first ones to try.
Oh
No,
Yeah.
no, but we might be the last.
Dude, right.
So it would be
Well
cool.
said.
It would be cool.
Timmy's coming for us, dude.
It'd be awesome.
I feel like this is like the start of like a horror movie, you know, where
It
like
could be.
the event
100%.
happens and it's
We
like
should film it,
nothing
too.
too much happens after one
It
little
could be like
spooky
Blair
thing,
Witch, bro.
and then like in everyone's life
Best
it all
movie.
It
starts
could be a
falling
real
apart.
found footage. That'd be awesome.
Oh man, yeah,
The
that definitely
possibilities.
sounds like the beginning to
Oh,
a
yeah.
horror movie. I mean, one day, maybe next year.
We could do it this year. I think we did it during the
Still got a few
spring.
days before Halloween, so
You can do, it's like I think it goes on year round. We did it during the spring. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd definitely be down to do it at some point. I think
it's fun.
regardless of whether it's this
But
year or
I'm
next
a
year.
little
You know,
bitch,
it
dude.
seems like
I
a
don't
cool thing
even
to
like
go and
being
do.
in my house empty. So
Aaron, don't be a little bitch, dude.
I can't help it, dude. I don't do the spooky stuff.
Well, dude, okay, so on top of the like the badass haunted house, like they also do like a lot of charities and stuff too.
Oh, really?
So like one of the vendors there the other day when we was at the haunted house was Gorilla Bob or whatever. World famous Gorilla Bob's.
Yeah, dude,
This
he
dude-
does so much for you. See him
So
on Facebook
much.
all the time. He kind of pioneered the whole pay it forward ticket system where if you wanted to, you could buy like a meal and then just put it on a board and somebody in need can just walk in
Oh wow.
and take the ticket off the board and
That's
say,
really
I
cool.
need food.
So that was what was kind of cool. Like while you're waiting in line or whatever, like he's got his vendor his vendor truck there, and you can get like fucking hot dogs or whatever,
Yeah.
burgers and things like that. You know, whenever he's not like giving out to the community or whatever, like he was
I
just
love
like right
hot
there
dogs,
chilling. Dude.
Man, some chili dogs would be really good,
Oh yeah.
especially with Aaron's chili. Oh my god, that was some good stuff.
This guy does make some bomb chili.
Made some
I can
amazing
vouch.
chili.
I mean, it's a little spooky. It's got ghost peppers and scorpion peppers, so I guess they work.
That's appropriate. Well said.
Yeah, nice.
No, I think it's really cool that like Waverly has like all these different aspects to it. Like I didn't even know the thing about like the charity.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Now, obviously,
Actually, didn't
living
know
in
that.
Louisville, you hear about the overnight stay and that you can do it for all like the spooky attractions. But like even like what I've been doing, running through Waverly Park. I'm lucky because I live close. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's your backyard.
Bro, yeah, it's right
Like,
next to me, and I can go out there. I like to go out like one day a week on my runs, and man, it's beautiful. It kind of goes to like the atmosphere of the place. It really is. It's unique.
Is it
You just
spooky?
no, not necessarily the park, but you definitely have a feeling of kind of like being disconnected from Louisville. Which for me is great, like going
Yeah.
running,
Yeah.
it's neat. And I have to imagine that a place like that where you also have a sanitarium, it's like kind of like the vibe of
Adds
the
a
whole
different
place.
element to the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Well, and I mean, speaking of charities and things, they've held other events through the years, the concerts and things like that, What were the ones back in the day, bro?
Yes, there was Sounds of the Underground. So like
Yeah.
Lamb of God, y'all was talking about like Lamb
Yeah,
of God earlier.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, they would
Would they
play
play
concerts
there?
up there.
They
And like
did
they're
there?
still doing it there, I think. Like
No
not
way.
Lamb of God, or Sounds of the Underground, like it was a different entertainment production or whatever, but I think they're still they're doing
Like
shows.
hard rock groups.
Yes, yes,
Awesome.
they're
That would
doing
be-
death.
that would
so
be
think about
amazing.
that. Like you're just like death metal while you're at the
Yeah.
fucking top
And
of
we
this
talked
hill.
to
That's the right
McConnell
environment,
like
huh?
that.
It
That's
was-
perfect environment.
Yes, like
And it's really cool that they still have that stuff going on. We talked to Chris McConnell about it back in the day, kind of a few shows that happened there. And then the fact that they still have them going on and just everything else going on there, man. It's crazy to think that such an abandoned, dilapidated place is still so prominent in our city for so many things.
It's a huge piece of the culture of Louisville.
It really
100%.
is.
It's massive.
Man, how cool is Louisville, right? The fact
It's
that we got
pretty
that
awesome.
too.
it's back to that keep
pretty
Louisville
awesome.
weird, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, man. Yeah.
One of the most
Do you-
haunted places in the United States.
Wouldn't it a
Louisville.
struggle to keep
Man.
it going? Like that's
Is
one
it,
of those
is
things.
it one of the most haunted places in the world or just United
Both.
States?
The world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like-
That's crazy.
It's right in our backyard.
Yeah, literally right
What
in
are,
our
what are y'all
backyard.
waiting for? Go check it out.
And I mean, dude, Louisville has so many places like that, but the fact that we have Waverly, dude, and it just checks so many boxes.
Do you guys know any of like the supposed ghost stories there? Like what's
Little Timmy.
famous?
Yeah,
Okay, who's Little Timmy?
So
He
little
kicks a
Timmy,
ball down the hallway.
yes. So he was a kid, I guess, like that was born there or whatever, like
He's
to die,
born there?
like born there to die, kind of thing.
Oh my
Whoa,
gosh.
that's messed up.
Like so, like they had a whole not charity, but they had a whole daycare for all the kids that were being born there.
Wow.
But on top, so that you got little Timmy. He like they said, he passed away there, born there to pass away, rolling the ball.
And so for that, he rolls the ball. Like people have
Yeah, they
said
bring-
that a ball would come rolling down the hallway.
Oh my gosh!
remember
What would
that
you
when I was
do?
there.
What would you do if you were there and that
Yeah,
happened?
Kick
exactly.
it, kick it back. What do you mean,
Oh
guys?
my
Go, Timmy!
You play with little
Play a
Timmy.
game of
You don't
kickball
want
real
to
quick.
disappoint little Timmy. What?
Hey,
the-
you know what? You would
You're
end
a
up
monster
way
if you
better than
disappoint
me.
little Timmy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd run, and then little Timmy would hate me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one story. But what else is there?
There's there's
The
the nurse.
chick. Yeah, she
The
hung
nurse.
her.
The nurse
She
who
hung
hung herself. Yes, well,
Yeah,
'cause you got-
and you
like,
could
you're
see her
taking
out
care-
the window. I remember hearing about the story. Yeah.
Like, there's two different things. Like, there's thing like she more than likely got sick, like because she was taking care of all these people, and like even though she's a nurse, like she still got diagnosed or whatever. And on top of that, she saw all these dead people. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just seeing people fucking dying. Like they had a whole like they opened up the roof just to like help people to like find some peace or whatever, to be comfortable with the fact that they knew that they were gonna die.
You said they opened up the roof?
Yeah, well, like, I'm sorry. The yes, like they had the opening at the very top of the, like they had, like,
Yeah.
to where you could look down or whatever, and it was just like there was a piece, there was like a garden, like
It was meant to
okay.
be peaceful.
Yeah.
But you know, when all she could see was just people like, you know, passing away and shit or whatever, like it was just hard for her to accept it. And
Yeah, I mean, how could it not?
Yeah,
That's a crazy
she killed
job.
herself. Like, so people say like she's one of those ones that like.
What
wonder-
did people see with her?
Well, I was about to say, I wonder if that's the one Stefan was talking about when we were at PopCon. If you remember that, Stefan mentioned like driving past Waverly at one point when we were at PopCon, and he was talking about it recently, and he said that he was driving after there one night, and he just saw a woman in white
No
standing
way.
on a hill.
No way, bro.
Just a woman in white, which Bradzilla kind of made it hilarious because he's like, he just said, Stefan said he just saw a woman, and Bradzilla's like, what color was her gown? White. That was me. But no, I mean, Stefan, he said he turned in the nearest place he could and turned around. He's like, I'm not messing
Nope,
with
I'm
that,
good.
dude.
That's pretty cool.
But-
That's kind of cool to have like a real life recounting from someone that you
that
guys
would be
know.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, Stefan has a few stories like that actually. But he specifically mentioned he was driving past Waverly because he lives around there too. So it was really crazy.
Dude, I would so welcome something like that to happen. Being in a place like that, like I just want to know.
I've been wanting
You
my
know?
entire life. I'm like ghosts are like allergic to me, or I'm allergic to ghosts or something, bro. I tried my hardest to see something there. Nothing happened.
Do you have a Ouija board?
Here
It's time to get one.
Here
We
we go.
need to do that. We need to do that. I'm serious. Please.
I feel like, man, once you have something like that happen, there's no going back. Like you know,
there's no going
and like
back.
of course, you're not going to really convince anyone. You know, like you're a part of that crazy group from then on. But man, how cool would that be to know?
Yeah.
It'd be,
I'd welcome it, even if it's scary in the moment. Like, man, I've been scared several times in my life. Let's go.
I wouldn't believe
wanna
it
know.
myself though. I'd be like, was that like just someone just walking by or
Of
something? Like, I try to
course.
rationalize
like
it.
confirmation.
Yeah,
I would have to like,
yeah.
well,
Did
now
y'all
I
see
gotta
that?
go
Like,
there.
did y'all see- was
I have
that-
to go there and
like-
try to experience it more in depth, like more in person to make sure. I gotta like
Yeah, can you knock
investigate.
3 times if you're a ghost, please?
Yeah, like really, like that.
And it's
Yeah.
the same
Get
thing
a spirit box, something.
it's the same thing that all of the ghost hunter shows do, you know, or they try to portray. And I mean, I'm sure we've all seen them, and that's the same thing. You know, you need that confirmation bias. There's that confirmation bias. It's like it's a network show. Of course, they're trying to put on a
Yeah,
show.
exactly. It could be faked or something like that.
Yeah, you never know. You never know watching something.
But you know, Louisville has its own ghost hunters, man. Ironically, there's some actually.
I saw some there when I went there.
I'm not
really?
surprised.
While you were there?
They had spirit
Oh, wow.
boxes and cameras and everything. They were
You
trying.
don't even know if they're local. Like they're
They could be
again,
independent
people
and whatever.
from,
They just be
around
random
the world,
people,
around
yeah.
the country.
Louisville
like,
does
they'll
have its
come here,
own.
like-
Right, with
but
it
yeah,
being
you're
that
right, yeah.
famous, yeah.
And it is crazy. Which to bring up Stefan again, I guess he said he knew somebody here locally who does that.
What, ghost hunting?
AG or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they run a
last
paranormal
name
show.
AG.
Like
They used to, or they're still kind of not a paranormal show. They do Masters or Misters of the Dark, which is more of a fantasy show.
okay.
Oh,
He
okay.
doesn't do a paranormal show.
So,
but
like,
he
what
knows
what
people
what,
who
do, what do they do? What is that about? Is it like spooky
it's
stories
improv.
or
So it's
something?
cryptos though, right? Like
It's
when you call it like
improv.
so or like cryptoids.
Yeah, it's improv.
Oh,
or-
cryptids.
Yeah, yeah.
Like monsters, like supernatural
so
monsters.
I think it kind of
Yeah,
plays
okay.
into ish.
But he talked about. I think his name is Steve Agee. I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong, but it's some dude who's local who does ghost hunting. Agee.
Okay.
Man, that would be one of the funnest jobs ever, dude.
Man, wouldn't it?
That would be so
That'd be the life,
freaking
bro.
cool. No, just ghost hunter,
Being a ghost
cryptid
hunter.
hunter, supernatural
yeah.
hunter,
job
whatever you call it. That would be amazing. I would love to do that. I thought
I'm gonna get him one day.
I fantasize about doing that. That'd be so much fun.
That'd be
I'd love to
incredible.
do it.
It's pretty wild, man. I can't even imagine trying to actually go to a place like Waverly because it's a big place.
You can go, Aaron.
Right. Well, no,
we can all go and we can bring a
can.
Ouija board. We can bring a spirit box. We can do
Picturing
it.
like
We're gonna have to play some Insomnophobia. Have y'all heard of that game?
Yes, I have.
The
Yes, I have, bro.
PC game. I
Yeah,
played
yeah.
some of it.
Yeah.
And
Is
it's
that
all
like a
about ghost
horror
hunting.
game?
Well,
No, it's
are
ghost
you
hunting.
are you talking? Okay, actually, I'm thinking something else.
Okay.
Are you talking phantasmophobia?
Is it
Yeah, yeah,
Phasmophobia?
yeah. It starts with a PH.
Yeah,
I know what you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, man.
But
And
it's
it's like you're like a ghost hunter, and
Yes.
you go into these rooms, and you can play multiplayer games, and
Yes.
there's like other people,
But you
and then like the
investigate
ghost.
the whole house.
Yes, and then
Yes.
like the ghost starts to like come in to get you, and
And
you
the
got to
whole-
escape the house.
The
You
whole
got-
point is to get back to the truck and decide
Yes,
what
and you have
ghost
objectives.
it is.
Yeah,
Because you have
Phantasmophobia,
to find,
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
or phasmophobia, something like that.
Phasmophobia,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's a
pretty
cool game.
crazy, dude.
Yeah, can
Yeah.
we please do this? I want to do this.
I think
Play
we're probably gonna.
Phasmophobia? I'm down.
no.
The Ouija
board? The whole,
I think he wants the Ouija
this
board.
whole sequence of events that we're talking about, Phasmophobia, whatever the
Make a whole night of it.
hell it's called, and then go to Waverly Hills with the
See, that'd
spirit
be
box
awesome.
and the Ouija board.
Waverly's, if
And
you're
freaking ghost
listening,
hunt.
please sponsor this.
If
Oh,
we,
please.
Hey, by the
dude,
way,
we will go.
if we disappear off the internet like 2 years from now, just know this might be the podcast that first started that.
This started it, dude. The ghost got pissed when
Dude,
they heard
I've
us,
heard,
dude.
do not mess with a Ouija board. You know, you
Yeah.
hear that.
You can
I've never
summon
messed with
demons and
one.
stuff, and they can follow you around.
Yeah.
I was
So
just
this
telling
this
you
could be
to
the
make
podcast.
You have to
told you,
fold up
bro.
the Ouija board and burn
I
it.
told you about the Ouija board.
What do you mean
What?
you told
What
me
did you
about the
tell?
Ouija board?
Oh, we need to make a movie and it'd be like Ouija board meets Jumanji.
Oh my god!
You know what, bro? That sounds
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
sick,
He
dude.
was like, no, they probably did it before. I'm like, no, I looked
They
it
have
up.
not
Nobody's
done
ever
it.
done it.
There's a movie called
Yes.
Ouija, but it's garbage.
It's not that.
The
It's not
fucking
that. I saw it. I'm
Jumanji
like, it's
and
probably-
Ouija board. Holy shit, that is fucking amazing.
Let me open my glasses
Oh
real
my
quick and I'll
God,
see
dude.
that.
I'm so
Okay,
sorry
there
you had
is
to edit all
anybody-
that out, but that was
No, I
so
know.
good. Just bleep it out. Bleep out. That is
We're
sick.
good.
That's
There's
such a good
if there's
idea.
any writers out there, any producers.
No.
Dude, Chris
Copyright.
Chris said,
Copyright
I'm
that
writing it.
now.
Chris said, I'm writing it.
I'm not writing it, just
No,
copyright it.
everyone listen, this has already been copyrighted. This is all
Motherfucker.
just
It's copyrighted
ploy.
right now.
Just so
Right.
you,
It's already
I thought you said
no,
somebody-
we
If you
copyrighted.
decide to do that,
I
you
did
can hear
this
it
just
for
a
the
week
show.
You
ago.
will hear from our
I
lawyers.
did it last week. So anyone else that comes along, I'm sorry, you're too late. Don't worry, I've
You're
already
done,
got
you're
it.
cooked.
Got it. Okay. Established.
I promise you, it's copyrighted.
Don't even look it up.
Not worth your time.
Oh,
That's actually a good idea, though.
Thank you.
That's
That's a
actually a
fantastic
really
idea.
sick idea.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you would do
See
it,
it?
but it would be
Dude.
really good.
We know a couple people involved in film.
Yeah,
too,
so it's
we
very
can-
possible.
We might be able to pull that off.
Yeah,
if we
run
try
that
hard
idea
enough.
by
We'll start
them.
selling like Ouija boards, dude. The marketing is gonna be so
Holy crap.
amazing.
It's just got rhinos on it.
Yeah, we might be able to pull that off, actually, if we tried hard enough. Oh, man.
Back to Waverly's.
Waverly's,
Yeah.
dude. I think we've kind of talked about Waverly's plenty. I mean, we've covered Waverly a lot of times on this show, but it was really cool to hear different perspectives. I've never been to Waverly personally.
Yeah, that's why we should go.
Yeah, I agree. Well said.
Jack went to the haunted house.
Can we like go?
Chris went.
Can we actually
Chris
go?
did the overnight show, and then Sam runs in the park. I think it's awesome to see just the
his
different
backyard.
perspectives.
Like everybody's been there.
You know,
It's
It's kind of like a spot to
Yeah,
go
the only
for
one that hasn't
anyone.
really
You know,
been
like,
even close to there is Aaron.
I'm not a fan of spooky, but I'll go.
hey, bro, come running in the park with me.
We should go.
Let's go.
Or let's go walking in the park.
Can I shoot the
No,
ghost?
no. Let's walk in the actual TB
Shoot at
hospital.
the ghost.
Hey, you're right. It is Kentucky. It is
Yeah,
Kentucky.
just stay strapped when you're in the hospital, bro. You might accidentally shoot a real human thinking they're a ghost, though. But
That poor guy that decided to dress in a sheet that day.
yeah, well, they signed. They waived the rights away.
they
Do they
signed
shoot
a waiver.
back?
Yeah, they signed a waiver. So
Oh man, it is crazy though. It is crazy that we have such an attraction like Waverly Hills, literally in our backyard, literally in Louisville, in our city. We can just go there anytime we want to. You know, a lot of
50
people.
years of culture, brother.
50.
50. Yeah.
It opened in 1910, brother.
Well, I mean, 50 years that it was open.
Yeah, 50 years.
So
of
it was
culture.
open for
Yeah,
but
like that's crazy.
114 years of
Yeah,
culture.
yeah,
Yeah,
Way
exactly.
longer as far as culture. I misspoke.
Yeah.
50 years that it was open.
That it
Like
was
that's
open.
a
Yeah.
major event.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
A
huge.
lot of death and pain and suffering went into that place.
And I mean,
How could that not be the most
I
fun?
imagine you can actually
Turned
feel
into
that when you're there.
positive capitalism.
Yeah, yeah, and then the free market.
You know,
Turned into haunted
look,
house.
what else are you supposed to do with pain and suffering except
We
chuckle?
leveraged all that.
Shit.
They leveraged all that pain and suffering for money. It's amazing.
What
Free
else
market
do you-
capitalism.
Gotta place your bets.
You know what? I'll honestly say I'm glad.
That's good. It's a good
cool.
thing, for
That's
real.
cool
It's
to
a
be
good
able to
thing.
go and experience.
All these people
that.
get, everyone gets to learn about these people's history and their own
Yeah,
suffering
man.
and pain that they went
Yeah.
through, and how not to do that in the future. That's a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
That's well said.
Yeah. I
Like, how many
mean,
times do you go there and you hear somebody like, my family member died there? It's like, cool.
wait, okay, so
I've actually never heard that. But
Jack,
It's very common. It's very common.
Jack, don't you have like one or two family members that were there?
One there during the
why I've heard of
TV,
it.
one during the asylum, but then we're in the hospital. Like,
Wait,
we're
are
in
you
the
being
line.
serious?
Yes,
he's
yes,
being-
yes,
he's being
serious.
dead ass.
Definitely,
We talked
for
about
sure.
this before on the show, yeah.
Wow.
That's
One that was
crazy.
there during the asylum.
That's not surprising at all to me.
They got out. They got
Off
out.
the rails.
They got out. Like they got out.
Off
That's
the
why I'm
rails.
here. That's why they got out.
Incredible.
But when you're waiting in line, you hear other people say the same kind of thing. That's what's interesting. Like there are other people around here who have the exact same experience. I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 25%.
Man,
It's
50,
25%.
50 years of impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, like
Yeah.
that's recent
That's
enough where it's not
like
too
two
far
generations.
removed.
Like
Yeah.
a generation's like 20 years, right?
Ish. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
depends,
close
yeah.
enough
That's
in
like
our
two
lifetimes
generations.
that like people are still going to be alive that can speak to those relatives that lived through that. That's crazy. You're just standing in a line, bro, and you're hearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
Like they, the person who was talking about, like, I don't know if their people got out. Like, my people
Sure.
got out. So, like, very fortunate about that. You
God
know what I'm
bless.
saying? Like, it's one of those things.
It's just crazy. It really is crazy to know how many people in Louisville have such a familial history with the place, but then just the city of Louisville itself. I mean, it was a huge. If you listen to some of our previous episodes about Waverly, it was a huge undertaking to even build a place that big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
It was a medical advancement at
It
its
was,
time.
yeah.
Ah, yeah.
And to this day, U of L is known as one of the most medically advanced
For sure.
hospitals here
sure.
in the region.
Yeah.
And so it just makes you think back and wonder, like, if Waverly wasn't here, if that didn't happen, would we have the U of L hospitals that we do now? I think Humana actually piloted and like brought about the whole hospital layouts that we know now, where the
really?
nursing stations are centered in the center of the building, and then rooms are around the outside
Yeah.
because it provides easier access
Smart.
to the rooms. There's been a lot of actual medical advancement here in Louisville, and I think just as a side note, you know, before we end it, I think that's important to touch on. Yeah, all the spooky stuff with Waverly is crazy, and it gets nationwide attention, but I think some of the medical side needs to be touched on too, and remembered and
The
recognized.
innovation. Dude, the innovation here in the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, well
is,
well
like,
said. That's a lot of
really
people
had
that
a lot
lost
to
their
do with
lives
its
through it.
response to that, right?
Yeah. So it's wild. It's a really awesome story. It's a crazy story that happened here in our city, but it really led to a lot of advancement, a lot of appreciation, and I mean, we have some of the top nursing academies in the city because of it.
Yeah, anyone that lives in Louisville knows like U of L hospitals like the thing.
The place to go, dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's massive, man.
Yeah. And it's really wild. And I mean, a lot of people don't know about the Humana advancements because before Humana was just a insurance company that we know them to be today, they actually ran hospitals.
Yeah, a lot of people. You're talking to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And we've done episodes on that too, and it's crazy to think, like, when you look into the story, like I said, they really truly changed the way that hospitals are laid out around the country.
That's wild.
Now, and I wonder just how much of this, was impacted because of Waverly and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good
the timeline adds up in a lot of ways, like as far as like the response to the way that they formulate the hospitals and stuff. So
Yeah,
makes sense.
you think about something breaking out like that, like obviously that's like a huge need in society
That was
when
massive.
something like that happens.
Yeah.
So they're literally building
and
this
think about-
massive sanitarium out of need
Yeah, it
to
was a
service
response.
this major
It was a
important
response to a
event.
pandemic, kind of
Yeah,
like
think
for
COVID.
about
sure.
think about the time frame. 1900. You're right on the brink of World War One, and
no
then World
kidding.
War Two actually
It
happened
went-
at
it
the
went-
same
yeah,
time.
it went
That
through
was
all
such
of
a
that.
hectic, crazy time, man.
World War One
Dude,
and
that's
Two happened
crazy.
while it was open.
Within like 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
World War One and Two,
Yeah,
and then
went through
TB
it.
breakout.
yeah,
Yeah.
a TB in between.
That's
like that's what it
crazy,
was.
bro.
A TB in
And
between.
we actually
What a
Louisville
hell.
helped facilitate so much for the country for all of those events.
Yeah.
If you really look back into
Yeah.
it, I know we're just talking about Waverly here. Don't want to go too much into the other stuff because we've talked about it before, but it is crazy just to think how much Louisville actually facilitated. Being a port city. And just being able to, so many doctors and things have come here. It's crazy.
They even down to like, and I don't know how it relates to that now, but I could say I wouldn't be surprised is even organs. Like there's like organs because of like UPS and everything else, they get here quicker or whatever.
right.
Not quicker,
Yeah,
but like
that's my
'cause the
job.
UPS
yeah,
hub?
yeah.
So
no.
like in the whole job, like
Well,
with
and-
with
okay.
where we're at, like they get to where they need to be faster because of where we're at, because
Yeah,
of
we
our
have a
Eastern
hub here,
Standard
yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
Like
Same with
because of where we're at.
Amazon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're the most like Western
why the UPS
Eastern Standard.
Yeah. Do you know why the UPS hub is based here?
What's that?
We're the
Centrally
most-
located.
We're the most west point of the Eastern Standard
Right.
Time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so as soon as they start flying across the border, when
Yep.
you have 2-day delivery,
Yep.
as soon as they start flying west, they're changing time zones. You're
Right,
cutting
right.
hours off of your delivery time.
Right.
That's
Pretty slick.
actually genius.
It really is.
That's
like,
actually
that's why
genius.
like we're more like it helps us like compared to some like other states as far as
Holy
like
crap, dude, that's crazy.
That's why Kentucky has so many Amazon distributions
Yeah,
here.
I know that's
Yep.
why.
So
yeah.
many UPS distributions here.
think about
It's
what it means
huge.
when it comes to
We
those
have the
minutes
world
when it
port.
comes to
Yeah.
like organ donors.
And then
Really
get
more
that.
than anything. Like
Man, I
when
mean,
those
I can
ice-
give you some insight into that. We have like our entire shipping because I work at UPS Airport. We have 130 aircraft which land and take off in a single night, and there's an entire team. It's called the Critical Healthcare Team, where they track these packages, which are like organs that are basically kind of like frozen on dry ice. That they have to be delivered by an early AM arrival
Yeah.
to these people, and these teams track these packages throughout the system. So when you say it's down to minutes, you're spot on. These flights
Yeah,
leave
like that.
Yeah.
on an exact minute. Like a plane might leave at 4:34 a.m. and if it's 4:35, guess what? That plane's late.
Yeah.
These packages have to be delivered
I gotta
because it's
ask,
potentially
though,
going to save lives.
Are they hiring, and how much do they pay?
They're always hiring, brother. $21 an hour.
That's it for that?
I hope I'm
What?
allowed
I
to
make
get
more
on
than
board.
that. What?
Probably not for the
right now we got UPS
critical
versus
response team.
Amazon right here.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Like that.
Well,
We don't need to
Amazon
do this.
uses UPS like heavily.
They both do. They both
They
do.
do.
But
Yeah.
but
Anywho.
again, like I do think that's really cool
USPS
how it
uses
relates,
Amazon.
right? Like to like where we're at.
Yeah, we're talking
Like-
about the health aspect. Like that's
Yes.
we have the hub of UPS right
Yes.
here of their airlines.
So I wonder if that has anything to do with like with the hospital. Like the
It
reason
definitely
that,
does, yeah.
You know,
It very well could, man. Like some of the technological advancements that have come out. And for me, like when you guys were
Well-
talking about that, I'm thinking when you said the timeline, there's like this 50-year time span where this hospital was opened out of need, and basically like all of these things start happening right after, and
Good
it's
point,
like,
yes.
yeah, like
Yes.
it kind of does make sense what you were saying. The medical advancements kind of come down the pipe. UPS is now here, and there's a major industry for shipping medical, like
and-
literal organs.
I mean,
Yep.
even beyond that, we've always been a major city for anything, any major industry trying to break through, because we're right on the port. We're right on the Mississippi River, or Ohio River, which
Ohio
feeds
River,
into
yeah.
the Mississippi
Right.
River, and so we're a major port, and all of that comes into play. You know, being able to deliver parts and things like that.
Historically, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's everything,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
And-
cities are largely founded on
Yes,
waterways.
every single time. Every
Yeah.
major city
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
actually prosperous is founded on some kind of port.
We are the
Every time.
smallest major city, or the least known major city on a port.
I don't know why we get a lot of
Despite
like very
how-
famous people and innovations that come from here.
Exactly. And that's what we try to capitalize on in this show, is trying to talk about all those things and really make sure people know about them, because there is a lot of them. There
Yeah.
really is a lot of them.
I think that makes Louisville a really special place to be. Like, obviously not like a major city, you know, like it's a city, but it's like it's one of the smaller cities, so like it still has this kind of like homey feel.
It's a small town feel, but it's a big
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, but at the same time, it has like all
Yeah, it
these
is.
contributions,
Yeah.
and it's such a really cool cultural place.
It's so cool. Dude, there's so many cool people here in the city. You know, we always say we love talking to cool people doing cool things. And if you look through our catalog, we've talked to a lot of cool people. I mean, even y'all included, you know, it's cool people doing cool things. It's just, Louisville is wild.
So cool in that you can, like, in a small town, like, you can, usually in a small town, you're gonna like run into somebody that you went to high school with, right? Well, here in Louisville, you're definitely gonna run into somebody that you
Right.
went to high school
Yeah.
with. But on top of that, there's a museum. You know, there's a science center.
few
Like, there's
museums.
like, so to where like you get that small town feel where you know everybody knows everyone,
I think
but you
Louisville's
also
kind of
have
perfect
all the
size.
extra. Yes.
21C
Yeah.
Museum.
Dude, that's a 5-star museum. The only
It's
one
a
in
hotel.
Kentucky. Like,
It's a 5-star hotel.
Hotel museum.
What is this? 21C?
21C.
Yes.
And there's a free museum included in the hotel. You can just like
No
walk
way.
in.
Jack Harlow gave
Yeah.
it a shout out
No
just
way.
because. Yeah.
I didn't even
And
know about this.
21C
See, I'm-
started here. It was philanthropists who started here,
Oh, wow.
and then they've spread to like Chicago, Detroit, New York, like a bunch of different places where
There's
it's
a
a
museum
hotel.
in the hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can just go see the museum. You don't have to stay in the hotel. You can just go see the museum.
See, I'm kind of like newer to Louisville than you guys are.
Speaking
you know,
of
like
hotels, weren't they going to turn Waverly Hills into a hotel at one point?
I think there was talk about
That's
it, but
crazy. They
it's
out. Yeah,
that's a wild thought.
That would be
they-
really cool, though.
They talked to
That
little
would've been
Timmy,
really cool.
and
I would have
Timmy
hated
said
it, but it would have
no.
been really cool at the same time. I would have hated it, but it would
Private
have been really
interview.
cool at the
Yeah.
same
Not
time.
enough codes, dude. The codes
Dude,
was just
between
not.
Timmy and Agatha-
Yeah, it would probably cost a lot of money to actually renovate that into a.
Between Timmy and Agatha, it just didn't work out, dude.
Yeah. I just, yeah.
But yeah, dude, Louisville is a really cool place, and then Waverly's a really cool place. I know we got a little off base there, but
That's why I was trying to bring it back.
it was. I mean, it all relates, man, and it's one of those places that you wouldn't expect Louisville to have, at least with the deep, rich history, and especially once we relate it to the medical knowledge and everything else that happens, you know. So I don't know. I don't have anything else specific to say about Waverly. So if anybody else does,
It's sick. Go visit it. It's awesome.
Dude,
Yeah.
do the tour. Do it.
We're
Do
gonna
the
have to buy a
overnight.
Ouija board.
It's better.
we're gonna have to buy a Ouija board.
And we're totally going to film that. I mean, we should film it.
Yeah,
right?
they can't take it.
Can we
now.
film it?
They can't.
If they let us.
We're
Let's
doing
film. There's people filming there. We can film it.
If they let
If
us,
you do the overnight, you pay like it's like $100 per person. You can film it.
If you use a Ouija board, you gotta pay us royalties.
Yeah, and if you try to take the idea for the movie,
yeah, it's
definitely
already
paying us royalties
copyrighted.
for
yeah, it's
yeah,
copyrighted.
Sam
We
said
will
so.
we
Right here.
will sue you.
He knows the lawyer. He's
We
friends
have a
with the
very
lawyer.
robust legal team, and they will sue the shit out of you. So don't mess with us, okay?
Very robust.
I guess with that, man, this
You know
is
what?
another one in the books.
With that note, I'm gonna get him on the phone right now. So
Yeah, let's
go
call
ahead,
a legal
cut it.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and set that up, man. On that note,
Yes.
I think with this one, we are done. We've talked enough. And with that, we will see everybody next time.
Yeah. Hey, Roy. Yeah, I want to talk to you about a new development.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby.
Interest of the greater good for me to smoke a joint and calm down.
He is
greatest. He a fallen ape to prove that I'm great. And if he keeps talking jive, I'm gonna cut it to 5.